Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. According to the Comptroller General of the United States, there are serious financial management problems at the Pentagon, to which Mr. Cooper alluded. Fiscal year 1999, 2.3 trillion missing. Fiscal year 2000, 1.1 trillion missing. And DOD is the #1 reason why the government can't balance its checkbook. The Pentagon has claimed year after year that the reason it can't account for the money is because its computers don't communicate with each other. My second question, Mr. Secretary, is who has the contracts today to make those systems communicate with each other? How long have they had those contracts? And how much have the taxpayers paid for them? Finally, Mr. Secretary, after the last hearing, I thought that my office was promised a written response to my question regarding the 4 war games on September 11th. I have not yet received that response, but would like for you to respond to the questions that I've put to you today, and then I do expect the written response to my previous question, hopefully by the end of the week.
I mean, what do you want to get out of this trip here?
Oh, this trip is about 911 truth.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's like, I can't believe I'm in Britain for September 11th. When I think it was 1791, George Washington warned in his farewell address, he warned the American people to beware the false patriots who will wrap themselves in the flag but betray your values. I think we've definitely got that personified in this administration. But the 911 truthers now are able to see through all of that, and their sole motivation is just to find out what happened that day. How did U.S., a multi-trillion-dollar military and intelligence infrastructure fail 4 times on one day? That's all. Just tell us how that happened.
So if you could proceed to my second question, please.
The second question, I've forgotten what the second question was.
Could you repeat the question to make sure I'm answering the right question? This is 9/11 question.
The question was, we had 4 war games going on September 11th, and the question that I tried to pose before the Secretary had to go to lunch was whether or not the activities of the 4 war games going on September 11th actually impaired our ability to respond to the attacks.
The answer to the question is no, did not impair our response. In fact, General Eberhard, who was then the commander of North American Aerospace Defense Command, as he testified in front of the 9/11 Commission, I believe he told them that it enhanced our ability to respond, given that NORAD didn't have the overall responsibility for responding to the attacks today. That was an FAA responsibility. But they were 2 CPXs. There was 1 Department of Justice exercise that didn't have anything to do with the other 3, and there was an actual operation ongoing because there was some Russian bomber activity up near Alaska. So
let me ask you this then: who was in charge of managing those war games?
And in general, why don't you give the best answer you can here in a short period of time, and we'll. The gentlelady wants to get a written answer anyway, and then we can move on to other
The important thing
folks.
to realize is North American Aerospace Defense Command was responsible. These are command post exercises. What that means is all the battle positions that are normally not filled are indeed filled. So it was an easy transition from an exercise into a real-world situation. It actually enhanced the response. Otherwise, it would take somewhere between 30 minutes and a couple of hours to fill those positions, those battle spaces, with the right staff officers.
Mr. Chairman, begging your indulgence, was September 11th declared a National Security Special Event Day?
I have to look back. I do not know. You mean after the fact or before the...
No, because of the activities going on that had been scheduled at the United Nations that day.
I'd have to go back and check. Don't know.
Thank you.
Okay. I thank the gentlelady.
Citizenship is demanding accountability from those who are charged with the responsibility of representation of the people and who have power over the public purse.
Cynthia McKinney is a former US Congresswoman for the state of Georgia. She served as a Democrat in the US House of Representatives from 1993 to 2003 and from 2005 to 2007. It was just over a week before the anniversary of 9/11 and I spent a few days with her in London.
This is not what I normally have done, but that's similar. So, something like that.
I have never done on a camera, but you know, this is going to end up on the editor's floor. So I have complete confidence.
Corporate decisions or personal decisions that lead to the slanting of stories, a sizable number of people have caught on to that now. And they understand that when President Eisenhower warned the American people against the unfettered aims of a military-industrial complex, that military-industrial complex now is comprised of military, industrial, financial, media complex. And all of them work together in a way to promote their interests, and oftentimes promoting their interests comes at the expense of the people's interests. That's the problem.
This hour we're talking about Iraq, the war on terror, terrorism, Basra, the British pull-out of Basra Palace. Is it a retreat and a defeat? Was there a successful job well done for the Brits, working as best they can in difficult circumstances?
First of all, I need to say that I reject your paradigm of retreat and defeat or job well done. I think that is about sensationalism in the media rather than actually dealing with the substance of
what's
the
substance?
Happening. The substance is that I think we need to remember how we actually ended up in this situation. Mm-hmm. How was that? It was because of September 11th. How did an infrastructure that has cost U.S. taxpayers trillions of dollars fail 4 times in one day? And members of Congress should be asking that question. It's a question of accountability. Members of Congress received talking points, and the talking points said that we were hit because we are free, that we are hated because we're free. And that was really the explanation that was given to us, and we were supposed to take that message back to our constituents and tell them that we were hit because we're free. Well, I mean, as a responsible representative of the people, that wasn't a sufficient explanation for me.
And if you want to call and join in the discussion with Congresswoman McKinney, feel free to call me, 08717 223344. Join in the discussion. Do you agree with her? Do you disagree with that? What do you think about the American involvement? What do you think about how it all started? I don't want to go down the conspiracy theory route again. It's been done to death. What we're talking about tonight is what we're going to do now. And here's what I want to know. I haven't finished.
You said again, and I reject again, because no one has gone down the conspiracy theory route.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to talk about conspiracy theories because it's my program, so there. How about that? Good.
Well, I'm not talking about conspiracy.
So, we're not going to do conspiracy theories.
That word is used by people who don't think. It's easy to not think about real questions or the answers to real questions if you can just lump everything together in, something that's silly and then say, oh, that's silly, and then you can disregard the issue. But war and peace, life and death, those are not issues that can be disregarded.